Well, in the rollback, you're going to hear me mention that I'm probably going to get a comment like this. Yeah. I don't know. All I can do basically is laugh. It's one of these things you don't know whether to laugh or cry. Well, I think it's probably better to laugh. Now, I'm just going to finish up what I started here last night at the end of last night's rollback, which we are going to see shortly. There's not really a whole lot I can say here, except I think it's a lot easier to just show you, so let's just roll back here. Well, I'm guessing well over 4 hours has passed here now since we closed off the last episode. And it seems to me when we closed it off, we were concerned about, is the plunger going to freeze up in here from the CA glue? And I think I was saying something about we'll put on the macro lens and we'll actually use it for real. In other words, we're going to do something worthwhile. And just let me readjust everything here, and we'll see if we can just get a very, very small amount to come out of this thing on and glue this part down. Yeah. Whoops. Nothing broke. It just fell off. I'll get it back, don't worry. Okay, I'm using Mr. T's pointing device here to point. And we're going to try and put a little tiny bit of glue right there and then see if it's going to wick its way all the way down along the edge. And this test is to see if it's going to bind, like stick and then suddenly release, or not. We want it to go very, 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 very slowly, you might say. And try and get the angle just right here. Now I can see it's only about 2 millimeters from the end already. Okay, I'm starting to squeeze. Well, that worked really, really well. Okay, I think that's probably all we need. I'll turn it around now, because these outside brackets are the easiest to video. The ones that are on the inside, they're going to be a little bit hard, but I'll be doing them off camera. Squeezing very gently and slowly. Alright, now just for the fun of it, let's try our curing agent. It's not going. I wonder if it's I think what's happened with the curing agent, it's evaporated, and I don't know if you can see it there, but the plunger is up all the way. I don't think it's a case of it's stuck. I think it's a case of it just won't go any further. So I'm going to have to draw some curing agent. Okay, I guess about 2-3 minutes has passed here, and I drew about 1/10 of a cc, or a milliliter. We're just going to try and go real easy now. In all likelihood, we don't need it. I imagine that what has most likely happened is this is cured already. Maybe I didn't draw it. Maybe I just thought I did. Yeah, it appears that the plunger's in the same place. Now I can see a bubble in there. Okay, I think I realize what's happened here. I guess I must have stuck this in the CA glue and I've CA'd the opening shut. Okay, I used the lighter there. I'm pretty sure we got it now. Now, I definitely don't need it. I don't know why I'm putting it on, but okay, I'm going to do these other two, this one and this one, off camera. Okay, now, I do not like to mislead and make it look like everything went fine. Well, actually, it was going fine. Then I got a little bit over aggressive and I pushed too hard on the plunger here and I squirted some CA onto my green cloth that I went to all the effort to turn around so that I'd have a pristine side. But I'm not really feeling anything here, so I guess it's just discolored. Anyway, yeah. Well, I am sure there were people, or there are going to be people. No, there probably are people who were yelling at their screen in the last episode to warn me, because I was talking about gluing this piece onto this turret that had the platforms, and I know why I did that. I was going to say we, but I did it, and that's because we were working with this piece to get this ladder on it, and then I should have put it back in its little tin and started working with this piece. In other words, this is supposed to go here. Now, I don't know if I can break this loose or not. I'm going to try. And even if I do, am I going to be able to clean it up so that the top of the rangefinder doesn't look all grungy? Well, I'm going to give it a try. I'm probably going to do it off camera. I'll be able to do the least amount of damage if I don't try and video it at the same time. So didn't we do something like this before? Yeah. I glued this platform over here by mistake. My goodness, what's happening to me? I can imagine what the Rodney's going to look like. Now I guess I could have planned this out just a little bit better here. I've got my back to you. And I should be coming at you so that you can see the auger working and, digging through the snow. But I think you can see how deep it is there. It's fairly deep. And this snow is very wet and heavy. It's the kind of snow that makes for a great snowman. You can roll it into a ball and it's going to stick together. But also it's the kind of snow that'll plug up a snowblower. And I didn't have any problem. I did have a little accumulation on the inside there, where the auger and the impeller was, but it kept going. I was. This was actually my first time with it, so I was kind of, you might say, a little bit leery and unfamiliar. But we managed. Now here on the front yard, coming at you, you can sort of see how it works, but the snow wasn't very deep there. Anyway, that's about it for the snowblower. Now later on, I did go out and I replenished the carrots. It was sort of nice to be able to just walk back there in my slippers. Yeah, now with the coyotes running around, I don't know how our rabbits are going to be doing. Those coyotes, they could clean our rabbits out. That would not be good. Okay, I'm just using a few drops of debonder here to get rid of the CA glue off of the pieces that broke off of the I don't know what you'd call this thing. Anyway, I think I pretty much got it. I'm going to wipe them off now, and this stuff evaporates really fast. In fact, you can probably see it evaporating there. Okay, let's get these glued back on here. I'm just going to do it off camera. I glued this up about 10 minutes ago now. It might be strong enough, but I think I'm going to leave it for the morning. So we'll see you in the morning. Well, it is morning. And as you can see, I've removed this piece from the clamp that I had it hooked up in there last night. I don't know if I'm going to reinforce these or not. I was actually quite surprised at how much force I had to put to break this part off of this one right here. But what I wanted to say here was, and I lost my train of thought for a moment, as I often do lately, that I had noticed that this little piece of photo etch here got bent out of shape. It should be more squared off. And I thought, now might be a good chance to see how well does this work after, well, what do we got there? About 16 hours or so has passed since the last time we used it. And, I can imagine that there's the possibility that the end of the tube has plugged up and we might have to snip it off. And I know there's the possibility that the plunger is binding, but I don't think so. But anyway, I think that this might be a good time to test it out. So let's recompose here and try and get our thoughts together. One of my neighbors just came by, and he's had a snowblower for, I think he mentioned over 20 years. And he was mentioning how that he had never seen snow with as much water in it as what we've had. And he says it'll never get worse than this. Like he was wondering how did it go for me, because he knew I just got a snowblower and never used one before. And and he mentioned that his snowblower did plug up. So that kind of made me feel good. All right, now let me check the monitor. Can you see everything here? All right, we're going to try and slowly get a little bit out. Is it going to come, or is it? Yeah, it's coming. Look at that. See that? I didn't want it there. Okay, got this thing handy. Okay. I think once it's painted, it won't make any difference. Now maybe we should put a little on the underside. Okay, am I still holding it so you can see it? I'm having trouble holding it here. Well, I'm pretty sure that some got into the joint. I'm pretty sure this is going to be all right. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and mount this the way it's supposed to go off camera, because I'm going to be doing it, the gluing and everything, similar to the one that I did wrong yesterday. It did not go as well as when I did it wrong. Yeah, I was having a problem getting the brackets to line up, and then I had a problem with having to break one loose and re-glue it, and then I had a problem with another one accidentally breaking loose and I had to re-glue it. But you don't want to hear about that. Let's move on to the railing that we have to try and put around this thing. Now there is something that I have been saying a lot in the last, I guess maybe year, that I shouldn't have. And it was I was half joking around when I would say it like this, but I would say something like, did I ever say I wasn't going to paint the railings or parts when they're on the sprue anymore? Now that was a little bit on the misleading side. I shouldn't have said that. I don't want to bend this. Just very gently get rid of the excess here. I've already got to straighten these railings out. Okay, now let me get my thoughts together. When I was painting the railings when they were on the sprue, I was getting overspray on other parts. Plus, I had to remove the backing from both sides of the sheet in order to paint both sides of the railing. Okay, now there was two things that were happening. I was getting my other parts, gucked up, you might say. I said gucked. And not only that, by removing the plastic sheet off of both sides. Now, on this particular sheet, I don't think I did. I left it on one side, and I sort of cut around it. So I know there is a way to get around that, but that's what I was talking about. But when we painted the railings for the Bismarck, the entire sheet was railing. And on that, it worked out really, really well. And yeah, I would do it again. So when I was saying I'm not going to be painting the railings on the sheets anymore or something to that effect, that's what I was getting at. And I was more or less joking, but I think I was misleading people, and I'm sorry about that. So yeah. Painting the railings or painting the parts. Some people will paint their plastic parts when they're on the fret, and yeah, that kind of works out good. I better watch what I'm doing here and stop talking. Okay, well, we've got the paint off of these railings now. Okay, I've pretty much got this straightened out. I used these flat tweezers here and just sort of squeezed the kinks out, and I think I did pretty good. Not as good as if I hadn't have bent it in the first place, but alright, it appears that we make a bend at this post and at this post. Now I think what we should do is take and lay this on the edge there and just see where the posts come in relation to. You know what, maybe I should reposition you. I'm probably taking everything out of focus there. Okay, I know that probably the most ideal place to have the railing sitting on the deck is right along the edge. That would probably be more realistic. But I find it's easier to glue it in place if it's just sort of on the inside of the edge of the deck. Now, at arm's length, you're not going to notice that it might be like 1/10 of a millimeter out. However, I've also found, see if I can get this now. Let me set that on there. There, I got it. Okay, now where do we make, my breath knocked it over. Maybe if I was to spit on it or something, it would stick there. Okay, let's try not to do that again. Okay, sometimes I find that when I bend on the outside of the rail, and I can see by looking straight down on it that that's going to be this case. If I was to bend this on the outside of this rail and the outside of this rail, it's not going to fit the way I want it to. It's going to, with this section here, he's going to want to go over the side. So now by looking at it, I know that most likely if I was to bend the rail at sort of a 45-degree angle, and then, have... I'm not making any sense, am I? I don't think I'm going to use Andy's photo etch bender for this. I think I'm going to use the Tamiya plier. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the Tamiya plier, and I won't be able to do it on camera, I don't think. Unless I can lay it down on the model table somehow. Maybe I'll think of something. Okay, I'm doing a little experimenting here because I was thinking that maybe we can use Andy's photo etch bender here. And right now I have it so that the rails are on the downside. In other words, they're along the rail more on one side than the other. I'm pretty sure I got it. Yeah, I can't feel the posts. Okay. Make sure I'm bending it at the right one. Yeah. Now, if you remember, we want the about a 45 degrees off of each one. I'm looking straight down on it, so these rails seem to be a lot more flimsy than most. So we're going to have to watch here. All right, I think that if I was to bend it like that, even if the post was held down flat, I think it would probably be okay. I'll move in just a little bit here. Okay, now you know what I'm going to say right about now. Something to the effect of, you can see this a lot better than I can. I don't get to see it this good until I edit this out in the computer. Oh, did I not have the clamp down? No, I didn't have the breaker bar down tight. I'm going to have to pull it back out just a little bit here. Okay, got it that time. Better check the monitor, see if I got everything still in the field of view here. Oh yeah, more or less. Okay, now we're going to go underneath here. Now we want to push in, but not so hard that we cut this off. Now I'm hoping that I'm bending the post up a little bit too. Alright, now let's pull that out and see. It won't come out. Oh, here we go. Yeah, not quite the way I'd wanted it. Not quite the way I'd wanted it. But, I know it's not supposed to be used like that, but you know what? I'm going to have to do the other one off camera here. This is just a little bit too awkward. Once again, this is the first time I'm trying this. And after I had it bent to what I thought was perfection, I badly bent everything out askew here. And I had to straighten out the rails. I more or less got it. It's not as good as it was. Okay, now I think that if we were to adhere the corner posts in place and get this front railing glued down, then we could worry about getting the back ones in place. Yeah, I think this is going to work. I think bending the posts the way I did is, well, it's a little bit on the yeah, it's not bad. It's what a perfectionist might call just right. Anyway, let's see what we can do here with the Tennessee Jim's idea. Okay, here's the plan. We're going to do the post on the right first. The post on the left is obviously got to be moved a little bit, and also you can see a section of railing there should be straightened out. But I'm thinking what I'm going to try to do here is just do the post on the right, and here we go with our new and improved applicator. Okay, I'm pretty sure we got it. Now I'm going to give that a few minutes to cure, and I think we're going to call this episode a day. We'll probably be doing the rest of this railing in tomorrow's rollback. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.